The views expressed are not necessarily those of KSCJ and Powell Broadcasting Company. This program is not intended to replace the advice of doctors or other clinical providers. Consult with your practitioner to ensure the proper course of action for you.
Welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well on AM 1360, FM 94.9 KSCJ. This program is dedicated to your mental health wellness and brought to you by Family Services, a United Way partner agency. Here's your host, Art Silva.
Good morning, Siouxland, and welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well. We have a special show for you today because this is our 100th show on When Things Aren't Going Well. We started during COVID in December of 2020. It's been a long time, a lot of shows. So we're going to highlight some of those shows with you today. And the first show we're going to talk about, we had it earlier in January of this year, was Stuff. And here we go. Today, our topic is Siouxland's best kept secret, the Stuff Critique. So joining me today is Brenda Geisinger, Chief Operating Officer for Boys and Girls Home, Terry Horsley, the store manager of Stuff, and the world-famous, often imitated Candace Nash from KSU and today KSCJ. So, Candace, I want you to know you're the best personality on both sides of the radio.
Oh, nice. Well done, sir. I've been on both AM and FM for a lot of years, so that does work. You're right.
Well, we're glad to have you here this morning. I'm going to have some fun. You know, we talked about our topic today is stuff. And, you know, the show is When Things Aren't Going Well, and it's about everybody's mental wellness. But, you know, I can't think of anything that doesn't go that goes well when women aren't shopping. So there has to be a mental benefit to that. So before we get going, Terry, tell us a little about you and your store and what you do.
Well, I have been with the Boys and Girls Home for about 6 years, and then when they developed the Stuff Store has been operating approximately about 3.5 years. And it looked like something that I would be absolutely interested in, especially since it's helping the kids. So when the opportunity came for me to manage the store, I jumped on it. I knew I could do it. I knew we could make it a success. And I am so proud to say that I think the store is really doing a great job. We've had tons and tons of our familiar faces coming back to us, regulars at all times, new people. Every day we have new people that we meet, and that's part of to me, the gratitude for the store is meeting all these great people. We have all kinds of people that come in here. And our store, we have such diversity. The store has all kinds of different departments. I know we have our regulars that go to the tool department, regulars that come over to the clothing department. It's just fun. I know that, Candace, when you come in, you go right to the dresses.
I go right to the dresses. That's the first place. That's my happy spot.
It is.
Yeah, that's my happy. And then the shoes.
The shoes, right?
The shoes.
Yep.
Right.
And it's great because Candace will say, I know you're going to tell me the truth. So she'll come out
Right.
and model it.
What do you think?
And I'll say, maybe we could find something better.
Right.
And she'll go back in the dressing room and
Yes.
she'll find 3 other pieces she loves. So
Yeah, it's fun. You can try everything on, and people in the store will comment, which I think is so fun. You know, I don't have sisters, so I just treat you like a sister going shopping there. So
I love it. And we
Yeah.
do. We have lots of people that if they're looking for a special thing, well, they help each other.
they do.
They'll come out and they'll say,
Yes.
oh, I love that on you. Wouldn't this pair of shoes
Right.
go great with it? And it's really fun. I enjoy that. And then pretty soon, they come every Thursday and they'll be like, oh, hi, Barb. Hi. You know,
So-and-so, yeah.
And it's so great
Right.
because it's like one big happy family when we're in there.
Yeah, I ran into somebody outside of the store and just, hey, how are you? And my husband said, who is that? I said, I have no idea. I just see her at Stuff all the time.
Another show in our top 100. We did a show on faith and mental health. Here we go. I hope you enjoy.
Faith and mental health go together for individuals or families whose faith is a central part of their lives. And that doesn't just always mean the Christian faith. We have, Jewish Muslims in our area, and even people that are in AA and have their higher power. And so faith is very important. It's a grounding. It's a set of beliefs. It gives boundaries to our lives, and it gives knowing that knowledge that there's something higher than us, that it's not just us dealing with issues, that we have a God who intervenes. We have someone who's there walking through our difficulties with us.
Now, I know going back in time, at least from my perspective, how critical the church was in solving problems. You would go to, in my case, a priest, and you would talk about what's going on, and whether it be needing a little extra money or needing something like that or whatever, they kind of seemed to be the catch-all right there, that final place where people would go. That role has changed significantly, and now when we look at it, it's more like a self-sufficiency that you have to pull out of yourself to really get the value of that faith and it doesn't solve everything. For me, it kind of fills a tremendous gap. And it makes me feel good. So that's going around a full circle, but my belief, my faith doesn't give me all the answers, but it gives me that hope.
I think it's been exciting in some ways as we've gone through COVID to see the way that churches of all denominations, backgrounds have really come into play in social interaction. I go to Sunnybrook, and they have opened a food pantry, and they have 2 days. They're distributing huge amounts of foods to families. They have a warehouse that started through World Vision that nonprofits can come and get things to help families. I know Heartland Baptist has it. I know Mount Zion is giving out food. So there's several churches in the community that are doing things. And I know as well nonprofits are also doing it and reaching out to people in need.
I noticed just the other day we saw the healing students were doing something with food. And I think that feeling of fulfillment, that feeling that you did something ties into a bigger picture of doing the right thing.
Right.
And that's what we learn on Sunday. And how come that doesn't stick with us all during the week? And then I think contributes to our stress, our anxiety. For me, that 1 hour a week is the relief I need. Over the course of the 100 shows, we had the opportunity to work with Catholic Charities and Amy Block, and also Heartland Counseling along with Jennifer Jackson. Two wonderful ladies doing great jobs with mental health in Siouxland. So here's a little caption from the show we had with them. Here we go. This is talking about mental wellness in Siouxland using Catholic Charities and Heartland Counseling.
So talking about mental health and the wellness of Siouxland, we have other agencies, and it's all about what will work for you and getting the help that you need. So I'll turn it over to Amy, and she can talk about Catholic Charities and the great work that they are doing.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Catholic Charities has been in our community for over 75 years, and I've been lucky enough to have been there for about the last 8 years or so. And we primarily provide mental health services to the community, to people of all faiths, backgrounds, really anyone who's in need of services. About 40% of our clients are children. We certainly work with anyone who comes in, but we also do a lot of work with couples, really any issues that might bring you in, like the other, Boys and Girls Home and Heartland. We offer a sliding fee scale, and we don't turn anyone away due to ability or inability to pay. So, we want you to come in if you're struggling with something or if you have a question. We also provide any type of educational information for whether it's businesses or schools or community agencies or partners. This summer, we're going to do some work with Boys and Girls Club with some of their kids, providing them some support and education services. We do some work with the schools as well. We're in some of our schools here in Sioux City, and we serve about 24 counties in Northwest Iowa. We've got some satellite offices out there working with rural schools. And we are also really blessed to work with Dr. Nezrin Abuada here in Sioux City as our I have not had my coffee yet this morning. That's part of my mental wellness. So in addition to the cut grass, I also am going to be focused on coffee. But no, we're lucky enough to work with her. That's right. So we work with her as well.
Wonderful. I got to tell you, I know you have a large area that you cover. There are 99 counties in the state of Iowa. How many do you cover?
We have 24, and then we also, if individuals are, in whether it's Nebraska or South Dakota, but primarily it's really Iowa. We partner with Jennifer, in Heartland Counseling. We don't provide substance abuse counseling; it's just mental health, but it's primarily Iowa.
I'm Art Silva, along with Brenda Geisinger and our guest Jennifer Jackson from Heartland Counseling and Amy Block from Catholic Charities, and we're discussing mental wellness in Siouxland. Jennifer, tell us what's going on at Heartland Counseling.
Well, thanks for having me. So I'm going to say ditto with what Amy said because we provide a lot of the same things that she does. But on the Nebraska side, we also provide some other services I'd like to talk about. So we provide a crisis response team. So anybody that's ever suicidal can call us. We work very closely with the schools, with law enforcement, and actually even with medical facilities. They can call us anytime and we would respond and do an assessment. We also do wraparound services called community support, recovery support, and peer support. And what that is for individuals that are really struggling with their mental health. And we provide a lot of support to them. So we may take them to the grocery store, we may take them to their doctor's appointments, whatever we can do to help them in their home. It could even be learning budgeting skills, basic living skills. And then the other thing I want to share is we have a day program called the Life Center, and that is for anybody just like you and I that is struggling with their mental health or their substance use. Maybe they are in early recovery and they just need that extra support. They can come there. We're open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 3:30. We pick people up. We take them home. They can eat breakfast there, lunch there. They can even do their laundry there. And again, it's just a safe place for individuals to be able to share if they're struggling.
A show we want to talk to you about because we have a large population, and that's elderly mental health. And we hope everybody's taking care of yourself. But if you aren't, listen to a few tips here on elderly and mental health. We're talking about transitions, elderly transitions and the mental health issues that go along with that. So let's zero in a little more. What mental health issues are associated with transitions?
I think there's sometimes some anger, that you're at this point in life and you don't want to be, and going through that process. There can be grief. There can be sadness. There can be joy. It really depends on the person and how they've come to this decision and the acceptance of this decision. And it's working through those thoughts and emotions and what you're going to do with this change and this transition. Sandy, your thoughts?
I think that's really a good point to make out. And I think the other part that I've seen is for families.
Yes.
A lot of times families are the ones that have to step in and make these decisions, and elderly parents or other family members aren't recognizing that they're not doing well caring for themselves. And for the families, it's very stressful because the loved one can get very angry at them and does not understand why this is happening. And so that causes a lot of problems for everybody involved. You can see a lot of depression can creep in because you are making such a major life change. And it's accepting also where you are at and how you are functioning. And that's really hard to give up that independence. We're coming back with a little segment on bullying. We're hopeful that this would go away, but it's an important show. It's a good show. So here we go with our show on bullying.
So today we have with us, once again, Rosie Strong, who is a therapist at Family Services. She has been with us for 40 plus years. So she is phenomenal at her job and a wonderful person. So we're going to talk about bullying today. I think it's a topic that a lot of people know and are aware of, but it's always good to have that reminder in how we can help our children. Everything they have gone through with the pandemic and the changes and things around, we can't forget some of those things that happen in childhood and how to keep our kids growing and doing well. And so we thought we'd talk about bullying again.
Well, good morning, Rosie, and welcome.
Good morning, Brenda and Art.
Glad to have you here. So, bullying. Let's frame this. What is bullying?
Okay. Well, bullying, if you think about it, it's an imbalance of power. It has to do with a power factor to it, a factor that a child may either actually have or perceive to have. That can be about strength, that can be about popularity, that can be about if they have maybe more money kind of stuff. And they use that to either control or demean other people in a sense. So it's a power imbalance that tends to happen sometimes with children.
So are there different types of bullying that and different tactics that are used?
Yeah. I'm going to kind of say, when I was thinking about doing this, there's like 1 in 5 kids that get bullied. And I experienced bullying when I was growing up. So I'm going to tip this a little bit personally in regards to things. So, there's different forms of bullying. One is verbal bullying, where kids will call names, will tease, will put them down. And that can be very wearing, like they'll call them an idiot or, those kinds of words. Then you have social bullying, where it's more of looking at where you might not be included. They don't invite you to a party, or they, as a group, will stare at you and make comments to you and stuff. And I'm going to talk about, for me, it was verbal bullying and social bullying. And as I was working on this and thinking about this, when we look at long-term impacts, it pulled it all back up. Some of the things that I was called, some of the things that the group around me in the sense of peer group would do. And it has a long-term impact in a sense. And so that's 2 of the bullyings. There's physical bullying, and I'm going to talk kind of fast here, where people are either tripping or pushing or shoving, kids in school. And then we have the cyberbullying. And that is a whole nother world for kids these days that have that cyberbullying experience.
And last but not least, we're going to go back and talk about sports, fans, and mental wellness. So they go hand in hand. We're going to repeat a show that we have an official that can give us some great insight. So with that, here we go. So with us today, we're going to have a little kind of like different kind of topic, and we're going to talk about sports fans and mental wellness. With me today, we have Brenda Geisinger, Chief Operating Officer for Boys and Girls Home and Family Services, and a special guest, the world famous Mr. Mark Wetz. Yeah, we brought Mark in today because Mark has been a referee for how long? Give us your background in refereeing.
Well, I know it's been over 25 years because I just got a plaque from the state of Iowa that says I've been there for 25 years.
Confirm that.
But and that was as a certified official. Before that, I'd say another 10 years. So I'm saying 35.
And what sports?
Football and basketball.
Okay, so
retired from football about a year and a half ago.
So we're going to get to some of the, I'm sure, stories you can share with us with your experience. And, what happened to just behaving, going to the ball game, any type of sporting events, and just behaving? Recently we've had just to kind of give you a little background on what we're talking about, we'll go back to 2004. And the malice at the Palace in Detroit between the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons when players went into the stands to fight. I remember a Red Sox-Yankee game when Gary Sheffield took a swing at a Yankees right fielder. The ball got close to the right field wall, and Sheffield went to go play the ball, and a fan took an uppercut swing at him. Sheffield fielded the ball and threw it back in. But, we just had the incidents the other day in the NBA with water bottles being thrown at ball players. Kansas City Royals, think back on this one. Tom Gamboa, this is back, I think, in right around 2002, and this was in Chicago when the Royals rushed the dugout to help the coach after he was attacked on the field. These incidents go on, and why? What's happened in our sports world? Is this a reflection of our overall society? Why can't we just go to the ball games, enjoy it, and not have to worry about either language or fighting or or just hostility. So those are some examples of players and fans' hostility. So I want to see, Mark, let's talk about it. With this, we're seeing this on the pro level. What do you see on the high school level?
And that's where I officiate, is the high school level. I think parents' expectations for their children are so great that they lose sight that the idea of high school sports is to have some fun, teach you some teamwork. But I think so many parents, once again, they just expect their child to be the next NFL great or the next NBA or get that college scholarship. And I think their expectations are sometimes not met, and so they take it out on the officials. They take it out on other players. Quite often the athlete on the court or on the field, they're actually embarrassed by what their folks are saying. I had one girl, I'll never forget it. If I lived to be 100, she said, "Could you get my dad to be quiet?"
Wow.
Wow.
And my response is probably not, unless I throw him out. And that's a whole nother set of problems when you start down that road. But
Verna, you would have to say, as a fan, have you witnessed this?
Oh, absolutely. You go to games and out of the blue, all of a sudden you start seeing a parent or even a coach. I've seen some coaches berate, players, and it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And I think, like what Mark is saying, there's these expectations on the kids and the players to really excel. And I think also as a parent, if you're watching your child and they're not doing well, or you think something is unfair, you want to rescue them sometimes. And the anger gets the best of the parent or the fan. That vulnerability of, I have no control. Things can get out of hand very, very quickly.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. It was a highlight of 2 years of work. We're glad you've been with us. You're a special audience, and we're delivering this mental health message to our community. I want to thank Heartland Counseling and also Catholic Charities for their participation with us. And on that note, tonight, Saturday night, there's trivia going on over at Heartland Counseling. So it's a great place to meet people. It's a lot of fun. So if you're out tonight, Heartland Counseling is doing that. It was a great 2 years we've been doing this. We were prompted by the epidemic. We've got through that. Growing a listening audience out there for family services. So I want to thank all of you. And here we go again for year 3. Peace, and may it sunshine on you this week. It's sunshine on you this week. It's sunshine on you this week. It's